Gula mabuku kodi?
Ayi ndabwereka ku library.
Kodi akuopen secondary school so mmatha kugwiritsa ntchito library ya school?
Eya, ndichina chilichonsetu. Library, labu ya science, ya ICT, komanso maphunziro amakono apa phone, tablet, computer ndi digital learning. Timagwiritsa ntchito notesmaster.com. Ndi chimodzimodzi lophunzira aliyense wa ku secondary school ya boma.
Izi zinthu ndiye zosangalatsa. Maphunziro apamwamba ndithu. Aiviru bajasana sankhidwe ndini madankhawa kuti kodi kadi ndipanga bwanji.
Etu, ife tonse amene tinakhonza mayeso a 8 koma sitinasankhidwe kupita ku secondary, munasiyira sukulu ya secondary panjira, kapena mukufuna kutsitsa ma points, dziwani kuti unduna wa maphunziro a primary ndi secondary unakhazikitsa maphunziro a open secondary schools ngati njira imodzi yowonjezera mwayi wa maphunziro apamwamba kudzera msukulu za secondary za m'madera athu kumene kuli aphunzitsi odziwa ntchito yawo bwino komanso zipangizo zapamwamba zoyenera pa maphunziro. Musazengereze, kalembetsani lero ku open secondary school ya mdera lanu kuti mupeze maphunziro apamwamba.
Uthengawu akukupatsirani ndi aunduna wa maphunziro aku primary ndi secondary kudzera ku Equals Project ndi thandizo la ndalama lochokera ku World Bank.
It's the 2025 Press Experience Malawi Gospel Extravaganza, probably the biggest gospel concert of the year, live at the BICC Lilongwe, 6 December 2025, featuring 28 of Malawi's A-list gospel artists, including Miracle Chinga, Kamuzu Barracks Gospel Singers, Lloyd Perry, Great Angels Choir, Marvelous Deeds, Ande Seko, Maggie Mangani, Norman Perry, Alex Nkalo, Debbie N, Confidence Voices, Bishop Chimwemwe Mhango, Ruth Misi, Musa Bwemba, Chris Kantonze, Carlo Kadzua, Sam Maliza, Reverend Dayton Bewe, Betha Nkoma, Rudo Chakwera, Peter Mlangeni, Martha Mituka, and many more. Charges: standard ticket 20,000 kwacha advance and 30,000 at the door. VIP 50,000 kwacha, VVIP 100,000 kwacha. Tickets available at Lloyd Perry Shop, Toto Walkers, Patanki, Kabale Filling Station, Area 18 Filling Station, Area 18 Sanamu, Best Oil, CBM Superstorm Sungwi, Area 49 Panda, No Monde Design Shop at BICC, Toto Filling Station City Center, BICC Reception, Maula Puma Filling Station, Puma Crossroads Filling Station, Kaunda Puma, Likuni Filling Station, Pamalewezi, Toto Bunda Filling Station, and Biwi Filling Station. Doors open at exactly 10 a.m. All artists will backed by the Praise Experience Band, and the entire show will be filmed for the Praise Experience Malawi Volume 2 album. So look sharp and dress for the occasion. Remember, all roads lead to the BICC in Lilongwe on 6 December for the 2025 Praise Experience Malawi Gospel Extravaganza, powered by AIA LED, Umodzi Park, TNM, and Web Tickets. See you there.
Luntha Television, bringing wisdom into your home.
It's time for news with me, Tandi Venzumara. Here are the headlines. Pope Leo XIV renews call for zero tolerance on abuse in the church. National Children's Commission urges President Mutharika to prioritize child rights and welfare. Calls grow for Malawi to enforce regional and international human rights decisions. And in our exclusive report this week, Charity Chiranga takes a closer look at the new parliamentarians' preparations, expectations from civil society, and the critical challenges they face as they take up their seats in the National Assembly. We have more details to these stories and more to stay with us. Pope Leo XIV has renewed his firm appeal that there must be no tolerance for any form of abuse within the Church. The Pope made the declaration in a message sent to participants of the National Safeguarding Conference held in Clark Angeles, Philippines from the 20th to the 24th of October 2025. We have more details in this Vatican News report read by Phyllis Chizombe.
The message was delivered on his behalf by the Apostolic Nuncio to the Philippines, Archbishop Charles J. Brown, to Archbishop Florentino G. Lavaliers of San Fernando, who serves as a chairman of the Office on the Protection of Minors of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines. In his message, Pope Leo expressed appreciation for the National Safeguarding Conference, describing it as a vital step toward strengthening protection within the Church. He emphasized the need for effective safeguarding measures that ensure safety and dignity for all, particularly children and vulnerable persons. The Holy Father said the Church is our spiritual home, and as such, every parish and pastoral activity must be a space where we glorify God and care for others, especially the most vulnerable. He then reiterated his heartfelt appeal that there can be no tolerance for any form of abuse in the Church. Pope Leo further encouraged the implementation of policies and practices that guarantee transparency and accountability in handling abuse cases. He stressed that such efforts would help foster a culture of prevention and safeguard what he called these little ones of the Lord. Concluding his message, the Pope expressed hope that the Church in the Philippines and throughout the world will continue to serve as an authentic witness of Christ, the Good Shepherd. He entrusted the participants on the conference to the protection of the Blessed Virgin Mary and imparted his apostolical blessings.
The National Children's Commission, NCC, has called on President Professor Peter Mutharika and his administration to uphold children's rights and increase investment in initiatives that promote the welfare of children across the nation. NCC Chairperson, Auxiliary Bishop of the Lilongwe Diocese, Bishop Vincent Mwakwawa, has emphasized that the new government led by Professor Mutharika should make child rights a key priority, noting that it was during Mutharika's previous administration that the commission was established. Emmanuel Jocha has more details in this report.
Addressing the media, Bishop Mwakwawa described President Mutharika as a visionary leader who has demonstrated commitment to the welfare of children through the creation of NCC, urging his administration to continue supporting its mission. He emphasized that children are a blessing from God, and it is the moral and social responsibility of leaders to ensure that they are protected, cared for, and given opportunities to thrive in a safe environment.
Because of that, President Arthur Peter Mutharika is the one who signed for, this act that NCC should exist. And secondly is to continue calling upon every Malawian that we continue to build peace and protect our children after the elections. We were very active before and during the elections, trying to ensure that children are protected and they are safeguarded. However, our job doesn't end just during elections, but as we continue at this phase, but also the future. Moreover, is also to call the duty bearers that they should continue to safeguard children.
The NCC has also appealed to the government to increase budgetary allocation to child-centered sectors such as education, health, and social welfare to strengthen institution and financial capacity in promoting children's rights. Additionally, the Commission has also asked the government to consider introducing a Children's Day in Parliament to provide platform where children's voices can be held and their concern addressing direct by lawmakers. Established in 2019, the National Children Commission is mandated to ensure that Malawi fulfill its obligation under international treaty concerning children's rights. It became fully functional in 2024 following the appointment and swearing in of its commission. For Luntha News, in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Chuocha.
The Malawi Human Rights Commission, MHRC, has called for stronger enforcement of regional and international human rights rulings, warning that poor compliance weakens access to justice. MHRC Director of Civil and Political Rights, Peter Chisi, said many institutions and citizens are unaware of procedures for seeking justice beyond Malawi's borders. Chief State Advocate Duncan Zikagwa emphasized the need for Malawi to implement such decisions, saying it would strengthen justice delivery and show the country's commitment to human rights. He added that limited funding remains a challenge, but efforts are underway to secure resources for implementation. Gift Kalonga has more details in this report.
Speaking with Luntha News, MHRC Director of Civil and Political Rights, Peter Chisi, said many institutions and citizens are not aware of the procedures that allow them to seek justice beyond Malawi's borders. Chisi said that in most cases, enforcement of court decisions remains a challenge, especially where the court have ordered the government to make payments. He added that while some progress has been made, there is still a need for continuous advocacy to ensure government compliance with international rulings.
People must be aware that that is not the end. We are a global community, so there are opportunities to access justice locally as well as internationally. However, accessing justice internationally has its own challenges in the sense that the international courts, when they have made their pronouncements, those pronouncements may not actually force government to actually implement automatically.
Chief State Advocate in the Ministry of Justice, Duncan Zikagwa, said it is crucial for Malawi to implement decisions made by regional human rights bodies such as the African Court on Human and People's Rights and the Committee of Experts on the Rights of a Child. Zikagwa said such actions are part of the broader effort to promote access to justice and demonstrate the country's respect for human rights. He, however, acknowledged that limited funding remains a major challenge and said the ministry is engaging the Ministry of Finance and other stakeholders to mobilize resources for effective implementation.
It is very important for decisions of regional human rights bodies like the African Court on Human and People's Rights, the Committee of Experts on the Rights of the Child, and even decisions of the Commission, the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, to be implemented, because as a ministry we believe that that's part of the broader theme of access to justice.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Justice has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting access to justice both within Malawi and through regional and international human rights bodies. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
Economic expert Habe Chirwa has urged the government to strengthen economic policies and provide practical solutions to help citizens escape poverty. He said most Malawians continue to struggle with rising food prices and limited income opportunities. Chirwa has added that about 85% of Malawians, including the youth, remain in poverty due to low income and limited access to productive opportunities. Judith Ogan has filed this report.
In an interview, Chirwa noted that Malawi's independence on natural resources such as land could be a key to reducing poverty if properly managed. He stressed the need for improved support through the agricultural sector, including the establishment of local fertilizer factories to reduce farm input costs and promote affordable food production. He further urged government to create an enabling environment for small-scale business to grow, saying this would help citizens generate income and reduce over-reliance on farming alone. There are also emphasized the importance of civic education and environmental management to promote soil conservation and sustainable farming practices.
Social problems that we are facing in our country, and not only in our country, is always across the globe, more especially in Africa. Is the needs and wants of people, and what the government can do. You find they may not match.
Chirwa warned that without strong policy reforms and investment in productive sectors, Malawi risks remaining trapped in poverty for years. He said governments must prioritize creating opportunities for self-reliance rather than depending solely on subsidies and external support. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Judith Ogan.
Remember that you're watching news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center, and today with me, Tandi Wemzamara. Before we proceed, let's have another look at the headlines. Pope Leo XIV renews call for zero tolerance on abuse in the church. National Children's Commission urges President Mutharika to prioritize child rights and welfare. Calls grow for Malawi to enforce regional and international human rights decisions. And in our exclusive report this week, Charity Chiranga takes a closer look at the new parliamentarians' preparations, expectations from civil society, and the critical challenges they face as they take up their seats in the National Assembly. Proceeding with the news, in a bid to promote positive parenting and curb gender-based violence, the Malawi Human Rights Resource Center, MHRRC, has organized a men care gender equal parenting training in Karonga. The training, conducted under the Pamodza Advocacy for Social Justice project, brings together men, youth, and religious leaders to promote shared family roles, and strengthen community values. Our reporter Henry Malunga reports from Karonga.
Malawi Human Rights Resource Center, MHRRC, recently hosted the Men Care Gender Equal Parenting Training in Kalonga as part of Pamodza Advocacy for Social Justice project. The initiative aims to combat gender-based violence by promoting shared parenting responsibilities and responsible fatherhood. According to Lioness Soko, MHRRC's programs officer, said when men are absent from their families due to other commitments, it can lead to increased behavioral problems in children and exacerbate gender-based violence.
As part of the work that we're doing in prevention of GBV, we decided to engage parents with the men care training, because we have noted, and statistics show that in homes where men or there are no present fathers, you see that the children mostly go astray. The boys who tend to drugs and alcohol. The girls also end up with unintended pregnancies because the father is not a present father. But in homes where there's a present father and you have both parents present, you see that the children in those homes do better, and they actually have better qualifications and better life expectancies as well.
The training brought together participants from different sectors, equipping them with knowledge on gender equality, family roles, and peaceful coexistence. Irene Manobembe, Principal Gender Development Officer in Kalonga, said the training will help men understand their responsibilities both at home and in their communities.
We are expecting that the impact will be huge, as this is a new approach as far as Kalonga is concerned. And we're expecting that more men will be engaged in the fight against gender-based violence. More men will take active role in safeguarding their families. More men will be present fathers in their families and helping to take care of their children, their wives, so that the women will be in a position to take more of productive roles in the society.
One of the participants, Reverend Jonathan Mhango, expressed gratitude to MHRRCs for the initiative.
Yeah, after this training, as a minister of Word and Sacrament, we are planning to, actually when I go back to my community, to my church, we'll be integrating or mainstreaming in our ceremonies, in our preaching, about issues related to gender roles, gender equality in our members.
Through the Men Care Gender Equal Parenting Training, MHRRC continues to promote equality and positive social change, strengthening families and communities in the ongoing fight against gender-based violence in Kalonga District. For Luntha News in Kalonga, this is Henry Malunga.
Women are taking the lead in land restoration efforts under the Global Evergreen Alliance's Restore Africa project, which is being implemented in 8 districts. So far, women make up 71% of the project's participants. Chief of Party for the project in Malawi, Jonathan Thomas, described this as encouraging, noting that women are the most affected by climate change and carry much of the workload in rural communities. In Mzimba, the area of traditional authority in Berwa is among the project sites where farmer Lamik Mazonga of Tipange Club is caring for 430 trees planted to restore degraded land. From Mzimba, Robert Edward has more details.
You want to call it a passion, resilience, or you want to call it technology, or you want to call it wisdom in managing or conserving the environment. The Restore Africa project has brought us here now. I just want to take you through what is happening. We are in October, but down from here, this is a technology that has been employed to make sure that water continues to drop for about 1 week. Water that has been filled in this bottle drops little by little for about 1 week to make sure that the plant or the tree that has been planted here is enjoying the necessary moisture that is supposed to have, though it is the dry season. And as you can see, this is just 1-year-old tree. This is one of the villages here in traditional authority, the Mera in Nzimba district, where farmers under the Restore Africa project are planting trees in a bid to conserve the environment. The project has about 670,000 registered participants under the agreement for carbon sharing, and it is about $20 million. It's been implemented in the country by a consortium of organizations led by Catholic Relief Services. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
Newly elected members of parliament have completed a week-long orientation in Lilongwe as Malawi's 52nd parliament prepares to convene. The training, held from Monday to Friday, equipped 224 members of parliament with essential knowledge on parliamentary procedures, governance and legislative duties. In our exclusive report this week, Charity Chilanga explores how the new parliamentarians are preparing for their roles, the expectations from civil society, and the key challenges they face as they begin their work in the National Assembly.
According to the Malawi Electoral Commission's official results from the September 16, 2025 general election, the Democratic Progressive Party DPP leads with 78 seats in parliament. Independents have 70 and the Malawi Congress Party MCP holds 53. Other parties, including United Democratic Front UDF, UDM, People's Party PP, and smaller parties share the remaining seats. The parliamentary landscape remains dynamic, with some independents expected to join political parties ahead of the official opening. DPP has nominated Samia Suleiman MP for Planche City Chigumula BCA Club Banana as its candidate for Speaker of Parliament. DPP Vice President for the Northern Region Jabi Mhango has reaffirmed the party's full support for Suleiman as its official candidate for Speaker of Parliament. Mhango stressed that the DPP remains united and guided by discipline and loyalty to party leadership.
The party decided that Honorable Samia Suleiman will be our candidate for the speakership, and therefore I can speak with authority that Honorable Samia Suleiman is the one that we are going to feature during the election that will be conducted next week at Parliament. And I can assure you that Samia Suleiman will emerge victorious.
DPP also appointed Patricia Wiskes as Chief Whip, with Martha Muntali Ngira as Deputy Chief Whip. Meanwhile, UDM named Patricia Kaliate as Parliamentary Leader, alongside Mwanza Central MP-elect Felix Njawala as Chief Whip and Kenneth Ndove as Deputy Chief Whip. During orientation, several MPs expressed commitment to effective governance. Karonga Central MP-elect Frank Tumpale Munifumbo, who also leads the National Development Party NDP, plans to push for laws declaring maize a protected crop to ensure national food security and shield Malawians from market-driven price hikes. He also intends to advocate for mining reforms that allocate 5% of royalties to local councils, strengthen value addition, and promote equitable development in northern Malawi.
Long-time neglect and alienation of the region. Therefore, developmental projects in the northern part of Malawi tend to be in arrears, and that's why they look back that we're asking for more. But we're not asking for more. Nothing has been done over the past 60 years in the northern region. Northern regions needs a lot of catch-up, and that's why when you look at it, when we talk about the needs in terms of developmental projects in the north, they look long.
Lilongwe Majenga MP Mark Chingonga of the MCP said he understands the needs of his constituents and emphasized that beyond initiating development projects, parliamentarians must remain humble, approachable, and committed to long-term service to the people.
You just have to be good with people. When you are a parliamentarian, you have to know about what your constituents want. Besides the developments which are supposed to be taken by the parliamentarians, you are supposed to also be good with the people.
Independent MP for Nsanje Southwest Walter Nyamilandu says his priority is to transform the constituency by lobbying Parliament to address poverty and ensure the area receives its fair share of development. He noted that many communities in Nsanje Southwest still lack basic infrastructure such as clean water and electricity, and pledged to make a real difference during his term.
I've come here to serve the interests of people of Nsanje Southwest. It's a constituency that is very poor. Poverty is very high. We're lacking basic infrastructure. There's no water there. electricity, there's no electricity, everything is lacking. So I've come here to represent them, to try and make a difference. We want to make Nsanje great, and that's my manifesto. And my ambition is to come here and lobby in Parliament that Nsanje Southwest must get what it deserves. And my issues, when we go to budget, we must see what has been put in the budget for Nsanje Southwest. We must try and influence the Minister of Finance and Minister of Education, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Health, all the necessary ministries to ensure that Nsanje Southwest is incorporated into their budget. Because if we don't engage them, Nsanje will continue to be forgotten and sidelined.
But National Advocacy Platform NAPO Executive Director Benedicto Kondowe says Malawians expect the newly elected parliament to take its legislative, oversight and representative duties seriously. He stressed the need for strong budgetary oversight to ensure that national resources are allocated and utilized in ways that truly address the needs of the people. Kondowe also highlighted the importance of thoroughly scrutinizing all bills presented in Parliament, noting that inadequate review in the past has led to the passage of fraud legislation. He urged members to engage in meaningful and constructive debates that go beyond merely supporting government agendas, focusing instead on advancing national interests.
The role of parliamentarians are threefold: legislative, oversight, and representation. And these can only be achieved if members of parliament are able to make sure that they are getting engaged in the August House to fairly represent their constituents. So I think these are some of the aspects that would want them to be cognizant of, also knowing that they need to develop interest to understand parliamentary processes, to understand, the governing framework of the parliament in terms of the standing orders and other so many other procedural documents that guide the conduct of the August House.
Concurring with Kondowe, social commentator Alak Mbewe said Malawians expect a focused and committed parliament that enacts laws benefiting ordinary citizens and engages in constructive issue-based dialogue, noting that the last parliament was often driven by politics and emotions, which hindered meaningful progress. He expressed optimism that the new cohort of legislators will focus on promoting good governance, the rule of law, and sustainable national development.
The performance of the previous parliament was largely associated with too much of politics, emotions, and something like dialoguing on things that are not necessary, but rather to please their political masters. That really affected very much in terms of productivity, the national development is concerned. It is for that reason that our expectations are high, that the new crop of members of parliament will dialogue on issues that are crucial towards promoting good governance, rule of law, but also national development in general.
Youth activist Blessings Chiwosi welcomed the influx of energetic and youthful MPs in the new parliament, noting is that a positive step toward greater youth representation, even though it remains below what is proportionate to Malawi's largely young population. He urged the young legislators to collaborate across party lines, forming a caucus to champion youth-focused issues such as employment skills development, enterprise financing, education quality, digital economy, and climate justice. Chiwosi emphasized that by uniting and strategically negotiating with senior MPs, young parliamentarians can drive meaningful change and effectively represent the interests of Malawi's youth constituency.
When they go there, let them stand as one, as the youth members of parliament. And so in this way, I hope it will bring much change when they will fight for the issues that really matter for the youth.
Meanwhile, Clerk of Parliament Fiona Kalemba has emphasized that Parliament is at the heart of democracy, reminding legislators that the election period is over and it is now time to focus on delivering results.
Parliament stands at the center of our democracy. It makes laws that give effect to the aspirations of our people, exercises oversight over the executive to ensure accountability in the use of public resources, and represents the voices of citizens from every part of Malawi. These are not abstract ideals. They are the very tasks that you have been entrusted to perform.
The swearing-in ceremony for the MPs is scheduled for October 27th and 28th, followed by the election of the Speaker, First Deputy Speaker, and Second Deputy Speaker on October 29th. The 52nd session of Parliament will officially be opened by President Professor Peter Mutharika on October 31st.
That exclusive report by Charity Shilanga also brings us to the end of what we had for you in this edition of our news bulletin. But before we go, here's a reminder of the headlines. Pope Leo XIV renews call for zero tolerance on abuse in the church. National Children's Commission urges President Mutharika to prioritize child rights and welfare. Calls grow for Malawi to enforce regional and international human rights decisions. And in our exclusive report this week, Charity Shilanga takes a closer look at the new parliamentarians' preparations, expectations from civil society, and the critical challenges they face as they take up their seats in the National Assembly. My name is Tandy Wemzumara. Thank you so much for keeping me company, and to continue following the rest of our programs right here on Luntha TV. Just a reminder that we do have these stories and many more on our Facebook page at Luntha Television and also on YouTube at Luntha TV Official. So do make sure to like and follow those pages. But from us, it's thanks, many thanks, and have a lovely, lovely weekend.